Welcome back to Kansas City. The Royals win it 2-1 to sweep the American League Championship Series 4-0. Kansas City is headed to their first World Series since 1985. The postseason show is presented by Mobile One. I'm Matt Weiner here in Kansas City on the field at Kauffman Stadium, where the Royals are celebrating a 4-game sweep. The presentation of the American League Championship Trophy is coming up shortly. Let's send it back up to the booth for a moment with Ron Darling and Cal Ripken Jr.
You know, Cal, I think we'd be remiss, though, if we don't congratulate Dan Duquette, Buck Showalter, and the Orioles on a fantastic year this year, winning 96 games.
No, they had a great season, and you can't take away anything from them. This Kansas City Royals really played well, and they beat them. It doesn't take away. It doesn't feel good right now if you're the Orioles, but yeah, they've had a great season. It ended a little bit quicker than they wanted it to, but still, you can't take anything. They're a very good team, had a very good year.
There's all there. And without a lot of their players, Chris Davis, of course, the suspension, Machado with the knee, and Wieters, of course, with the elbow. So missing some real key ingredients on that team. 14 one-run games this postseason. That's the most in history. Let's go down to Ernie Johnson.
All right, Kansas City, I know you want a party. We have a little business to take care of here with some hardware to be handed out and some folks to introduce. Chairman and owner, David Glass. The president, Dan Glass. The first manager in baseball history to win 8 straight postseason games to start his postseason career, Ned Yost. Senior Vice President of Business, Kevin Ulick. And the General Manager, Dayton Moore. And Jackie Autry, the honorary American League president, will present the William Heritage Trophy to the AL champs.
Yes, congratulations. I said to David earlier today that I never thought 20 years ago when I first met him that I'd be standing here today giving him a championship trophy. But on behalf of the American League and all your fellow owners in the American League, I'm so proud of what you've accomplished. Your entire organization is fabulous, and I want to give you this William Heritage championship trophy, which is rather heavy, so be careful.
You want to tell me how it feels as an owner to cradle that trophy?
I tell you what, we've waited for this for a while, but it's worth it.
I was gonna throw a couple of questions at you, but I really think it's a better time. What do you want to say to that team and to these fans?
You know, I couldn't be prouder of that team, but I tell you, on behalf of my family, Dayton, Ned, the coaches, the players, I think I speak for all of us in saying that we dedicate this trophy to these fans.
Mr. Glass, congratulations on a tremendous, tremendous year. Hey, Dan, make this a father-son moment. What does this whole night mean to you as you look at this scene?
We couldn't have done it without the fans. I mean, that's where it all starts from, and it's time to celebrate.
I think they've gotten a head start on that. Hey, Ned, I know it's been It's been a miraculous, a magical run. You believe you're standing here?
Yeah, Ernie, Dayton and I have been planning this for 5 years. So, of course, we believe it. But, you know, the special thing about this today is that each and every one of these guys have worked so hard to bring a championship to our city and to you, our fans. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your wonderful support. Thank you for being behind us. This is for you.
Ned, congratulations.
Thank you, Ernie.
All right. This team that you've put together is going to the World Series. How's that sound, Dayton?
I tell you what, Ernie, it's unbelievable. You know, all of our scouting and development people had the vision for what we were trying to accomplish here and to put a great product on the field for our fans. And I can't say enough about our incredible players. Ned is an unbelievable leader. So happy for our fans and Mr. Glass and the entire Glass family, and it's just an unbelievable feeling.
What brings you the most satisfaction out of a moment like this?
Well, just to bring a lot of joy and energy to our city, and to capture a fan base and to rally around a group of players that have so much heart and attitude to win. It's incredible.
Congratulations, Dayton. Very happy for you. There is one more trophy that has to be awarded tonight, and Jackie, that's for the MVP of the American League Championship Series.
This award goes to Lorenzo Cain. I don't think this is a surprise to anybody. Forget it. His defense, his timely hitting, everything, and everybody, I think, in this stadium knew that this man deserved the Lee McPhail Championship Award for the MVP.
Lorenzo, offensively, defensively, your speed, the whole game, that's what has this in your hands. At this stage of your career, at this time of your life, what does this feel like?
I mean, it's an amazing feeling, you know, to be here in this moment with my teammates and fans, coaching staff, owner, Dayton, you know, unbelievable feeling. I've enjoyed every moment of it.
Before this series began, I had a chance to talk to you about you and this game of baseball, and you didn't play organized baseball till your sophomore year in high school, and you were telling me that, look, Mom was working 2 jobs, you had to help out around the house, eventually you got around to playing in high school, and where's Mom now, and what's your message to Mom that you stand here now and you're going to the World Series?
God has definitely blessed me with a beautiful, wonderful mom, and she's been by my side, supported me through the hard times, you know, and I love her to death. You know, she means the world to me. So, like I said, I'm just so happy she was able to be here for this special moment.
I am pleased to be standing here with you. Happy for you. Happy for your organization. Great night in Kansas City Royals history. Folks, these are the champions of the American League headed to the World Series.
The Kansas City Royals are headed back to the World Series nearly 3 decades after their first and only championship in 1985. It's a sweep here in Kansas City. The Royals did it their way with small ball, with defense, and they did it convincingly 4-0. For Ernie Johnson, Ron Darling, Cal Ripken Jr., Mike Bordick, Steve Fiziak, and the rest of our TBS crew, I'm Matt Weiner. Good night from Kansas City. It's off to the World Series next for the Royals. What a night. What a 2-week period. An 8-0 run for the Royals. Next off to the Fall Classic. TBS has been your home for the 2014 American League postseason. Enjoy it, KC. Good night from Missouri.
postseason show is presented by Mobile One. Energy lives here.
And the postseason show presented by our friends at Mobile One rolls on from our set here at the K. Down on the field, the players file into the locker room. Here on our set, they're pumped up. The Royals are headed to the World Series. The signage, the excitement, it has been absolutely an electric scene around this city and this part the last couple of days. But when Greg Holland got the final out, oh boy, if there was a roof that would have blown off. That's the kind of excitement and the atmosphere you felt right here on set. Casey Stern with you as we've been all postseason. Gary Sheffield, Pedro Martinez. Guys, let's start with this. Pedro, we saw Lorenzo Cain win the MVP. La Jirafa Negra, your boy, how proud are you of what he accomplished and why is he so deserving?
Extremely happy with Lorenzo Cain, his job, his background. It couldn't happen to a better person. A humble kid that has worked his way through and well deserved. He did everything the Kansas City Royals asked him to do. Defense, run the bases, chip in whenever they needed, holding the third place hitter in a team that really needed someone to stand up. He did everything they asked him for. Congratulations to him. God bless him, and one of many.
Very overrated is the term small ball, because it's really baseball, right? Running the bases, making sure to be efficient, executing, runner at third, less than 2 outs, sacrifice flies. Chef, you were a guy who could thump, but you also would play to the scoreboard. Have you ever seen an offense utilize that aspect as well as this one?
Not at all. I mean, you have to appreciate the baseball we just saw. We saw a little bit of everything from these guys, from the first game of this series to the end. These guys kept their focus the whole time. They didn't let up, and Lorenzo Cain is a big part of that. But I tell you what, the city of Kansas City ought to be, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. 29 years, they need to go celebrate.
And something to point out is Ned Yost. This is a guy who deserves a boatload of credit. You saw him get emotional. You know him, had it as a coach on your staff with the Braves. He's a very good person, and he's a guy who they love playing for. That aspect should not be forgotten. And what we saw again in game number 4, how did the Royals get to the World Series? Let's take a closer look. The Royal fans had the brooms. They were ready for a sweep early going. Buck Showalter, could he turn the tide? Go to the bottom of the first. Alcides Escobar has been terrific. Base hit up the middle. Off second base, gets a single. Starting things, those pesky hitters again, Pedro. Getting it done. Next batter, Nori Aoki gets beaten by Miguel Gonzalez. And then that would set up Lorenzo Cain, the first sack bunt by a 3-hitter since 1984 with Steve Garvey.
That's what I'm talking about. That's all Kansas City needed at that time. He did that for them. Chipping in like the whole team does every time they go out there.
Eric Hosmer, you see there, the play by Caleb Joseph, not able on the tag to hold on to the ball, Chef, turns into 2 runs.
Yeah, as a catcher, you know you can't block the plate now, but you have to retrieve that ball with 2 hands. You got to get that other hand in there to secure that ball, because if you don't secure the ball, it's hard to keep the ball in a catcher's mitt with a sweep tag.
Now, Jason Vargas was around the plate, and he was getting away with it until this. Ryan Flaherty, deep fly, gets it done, cuts the lead in half, and you thought maybe some momentum and confidence for the lineup, Chef.
Yeah, when you get that contribution at the bottom of the lineup, a big home run to put a run on the board, this is where I thought they had him. I thought that when they turned this lineup over, these guys the second time around was going to make the adjustment, but unfortunately they didn't.
Delvin Young's been great in the postseasons, including this one, not able to get it done on that double play. And then, here you go, J.J. Hardy deep to right, and Alex Gordon, the state trooper again, Pedro.
Those state troopers, they never stop chasing everything that's out there. I love them. Unbelievable.
Chef, the defense we saw displayed by that outfield, you were a part of many outfields. Is this as good a defensive outfield as you've seen?
This is good as I've seen, but Rusty Coots deserved all the credit in the world right here. This guy was my outfield coach with the Florida Marlins. He taught me how to play outfield coming from third base. He did the same thing for Gordon, and it's paying off for all these guys.
Vargas able to get it done, gets Joseph, gets Ryan Flaherty. He doesn't like the call, but he gets it done, and you got to know the way the plate is being handled by the umpire too, Pedro.
Yes, and it was consistent. One of a few umpires that I've seen in the whole series calling the same strike in the same strike zone and consistent all the way.
Jason Vargas ends up in the 6th inning after a walk. He left him in, did Ned. Ned doing Ned things, but he strikes out Markakis, and then Vargas out and Kelvin Herrera in. Runners on the cores with 2 down. Nelly Cruz lines out to Omar Infante. How tough is that in the sun?
Now, you don't want this ball coming at you when you see this shadow right here. He made a tough play. He stayed with it. He let the ball come out of the sun and made a big play right there.
Pedro, you said in our pregame, seen a lot of 7, 8, 9s. As dominant as any you've ever seen, and Herrera had it going again tonight.
I will reaffirm what I'm saying. I have never seen a 1, 2, 3 punch better than this one. I remember the Nasty Boy, but believe me, I'll take this group on top of any other group.
Well, we see at the end of the game, Wade Davis, brilliant. He's going to be a closer you would figure someplace next year. His stuff was electric in this series. He'll be big in the World Series coming up against San Fran or St. Louis. Then Holland ends up getting Delman Young, able to get him to chase in that at-bat, and you saw it coming, Chef.
Yeah. Hollins came in earlier. He was a little pumped up, a little too much. He was throwing balls out of the strike zone, but he trusted his stuff and said, okay, let's quit playing, boys. I'm coming right after you to get this game over with.
The electricity, not just from George Brett up in the suite or from Ned in the dugout, on the field, here in the stands, after the Royals got that last out, and now we're headed to the World Series. Guys, they waited 29 years to get back into the postseason. Doc Brown, Marty McFly, Back to the Future, gas prices were less, the music was terrible. Everything great for the Royals now. They wait for Wednesday's game 1. Not so much for Buck Showalter, gets swept. Here's his take on what happened in game 4.
It's disappointing. I'm frustrated, not frustrated, but disappointed for our guys and our fans. And, it's not something, it's not like it's something we didn't do. It was more of what they did. And it wasn't like somebody wanted something more than somebody else. It's just, you saw how close the games were. And it's more a testament to, what they did. And obviously they played great defensively. I congratulate them. Ned did a great job, the whole organization, so they get a chance to represent the American League now in the World Series, and we wish them well. But through it, we got some good things done. We let the country remind the country what a great baseball city and city in general Baltimore is, and I feel good about that. Some people kind of know our secret, so to speak. So there's a lot of positive things there. But, it's kind of shallow right now. There's so many things, Rock, during the year that it's just an unspoken word, a look at each other. There's real respect for each other. And like I just told them, game's not always fair. Someone's going to be extremely disappointed. And so our guys, when you put that much time and effort into something, then it's done. So close, but I guarantee you we'll do everything possible to try to give them and organization, our fans, this opportunity again. I can promise you that.
Ton of credit goes to Buck Showalter. He'll end up, rightfully so, American League Manager of the Year. Our friends at Jaguar bring us the pitcher comparison. We wondered how would it go in game number 4. Both guys did a good job. Gonzalez, a little bit rough early. The error that scored the runs, he settled down, was very good after that. And Vargas, a terrific job as well. But that just the beginning of the story. We've got much more to do here on our postseason postgame show presented by Mobile One. Jarrett Dyson, he spoke, he was brash, they tip caps, they have fun, and guess what? They're royal in the American League and now heading to the World Series. We've got much more to do from our set. MLB on TBS's coverage of the American League Championship Series rolls on next. Postseason show presented by Mobile One rolls on. The fans here in Kaufman continue to party up here on set, down on the field. world, they party as champions of the American League. You think of the stories. Mike Moustakas, who got sent down during the year. Hosmer putting it together. Aoki in a trade. Vargas a sign. This was pieced together like a beautiful puzzle from Dayton Moore. And now, the vision, it has come to reality. The Royals, AL champs. More on TBS is next.
The postseason show on TBS, live from the American League Championship Series, is presented by Mobile One. Energy lives here.
Our postseason show presented by Mobile One rolls on. Salvador Perez, who did a terrific job in this series, banged up, hitting the head, hitting the hand. Doesn't matter. James Shields on the other side, a leader in this clubhouse. Guys, there's so much to discuss with this team. In the celebrations for both of you, in covering a number of these, I've always admired the moments we don't see with your families. The fact that you're away for so long and that togetherness finally gets a chance to have that moment for both of you. Pedro, what do you think back to? What moment comes to mind when you see that champagne celebration right there with the Royals?
Well, when I see that, all I can think is the huge amount of work that your mom and dad put together to get you to where you are. You have to first think about, God. For me, it was God number one, mom and dad number two, and my older brother Ramon right along with them.
Absolutely. I remember my mom coming into the locker room and seeing us celebrate, and I'm being an only child, and just to keep me on the right path, just to see her in that room celebrating with us and being welcome, and everybody in there it was like a family. This is what you live for.
As we move forward here and watch these Royals, Pedro, anybody stopping this team? Anybody stopping the Royals?
I don't see it happening right now. The momentum this kid are taking over to the next series, I think it's something special. It's something to watch. It's something that I'm going to be watching closely, and I'll pay my money to watch too.
Yeah, there ain't no stopping these guys. These guys are going, and I think they're going to have a great series going into the World Series. These guys are on a high right now, and I don't think they're coming down no time soon.
It's unbelievable. We talk about leadership and about chemistry and the importance of all of that. And you watch the different personalities, some young, some old, on the Royals team. I got to say, as we wrap up things for our AL coverage, it has been an absolute honor to work with both of you.
Thank you.
I mean, honestly, these are two of the most brilliant people I've ever met, and classier than you are smart or talented, so thank you.
Thank you so much. You're the same way, Case.
I get all of the cigars tonight from Chef, and I also get to be Pedro's daddy.
Kill him.
To all of our great crew, the people who are standing back here, those of you in the trucks down in Atlanta, you make this possible. For those of you watching, on to the World Series we go, and I'll see you on the radio or hear you at MLB Network Radio. There have been 14 one-run games, 4 extra inning wins, and 8 straight for the Kansas City Royals. They will host the World Series next week. Good night from TBS.